So you talk about determination, and as a teenager, that's not something that just kind of happens. You know, usually you have to be directed, and you know, I have a teenage son, and you know, I have to consistently be on top of him about, you know, preparing for college and all those things. What in your life gave you that determination to know that you wanted to be greater than, and you wanted to achieve great things?
I really think it was the passing of my mother at 10 years old. After, you know, living with my aunt, I didn't want to be a burden to her because my aunt didn't have any kids of her own. So I wanted to relieve that burden. I remember in middle school selling tie-dye t-shirts and doing ponytails just to make extra money so that I wouldn't have to be a burden to her.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing.
I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit in me. I just, you know, I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. No one in my family owned a business except, you know, my grandfather, but I was young, so I didn't know anything. Now I know that he was an entrepreneur, his own boss and everything. So, but you say something really important, you know, about you not knowing that your grandfather was an entrepreneur. Because I think in our community, that's something that's missed a lot. You know, the parents are up here doing what they do to take care of the children and the family, and the kids are kind of left out of it. Right. And you have changed that in your own life, right? So tell us what that means now to you. Well, I don't want to be the mom that says don't go to college, but hint around, you really don't have to go to college to be successful. You know, the education is good and everything, but when you get out of college, the only thing you really accumulated was a bunch of student loans. Especially for us, you know, I don't have enough money to send kids to school and pay for a full ride. So they're going to go to college, just like I did, accumulated a lot of student loans, get out of college on Sally Mae, you know, and then you go work this full-time job and you're not making enough to even pay Sally Mae back. So especially as a school teacher, you know, the ends just wasn't meeting for me. You know, I'm not downgrading or I'm trying to, you know, discourage anyone from going and pursuing their dreams of being an educator. But for me, it just doesn't work. I'm a mother of 4 kids. You know, I can't fathom the fact of me not being able to feed them or not giving them a lifestyle that I had. Although my mother passed away when I was 10, my aunt took very good care of me. No one at school could tell that I was living with my aunt. Right. And honestly, I was ashamed to tell people that my mother had passed away. My mother was in the streets. So everyone in school thought that my aunt was my mother and thought that her husband was my dad. And he's still living, and that's who I refer to as my dad because he's dad to me. Well,
you know, that's impactful because we all have things in our childhood or in our past that we aren't really able to embrace, right? And we may be ashamed of it. And as we get older, we realize that whatever that thing was that made us feel ashamed really empowers us.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes, it does.
So here it is now. You've gone to college at Alabama State, right? And you became an educator.
Yes.
And even the course you took in becoming an educator, you weren't just a regular teacher.
Right. I wasn't a regular teacher. I got my bachelor's in special education. I got my first master's in special education, both from Alabama State. I moved back to Miami, Florida in 2007 after a divorce. And I went back to school to Nova and got a management application education second master's. And I'm currently in school again getting the ed specialist. Getting an ed specialist because one day I do want to own a child care center.
Wow.
That's my ultimate goal. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my interview today with UPDTV. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.